Hello and welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Last time, we found out that we didn't exist as much as we thought we did previously. However, through realization and coming to the truth of it, we have re-merged with the prince, and we are now the prince. In a way. In a manner of speaking, sort of. It's a little confusing, but there is a room behind us that was marked as a room filled with lore. So, I kind of want to know what's in it. But before we do that, we have a lot of people who want to speak to us here. Probably to say, what is happening? So, hello Russell. Hey, Russell? How could this be? His Highness resurrected? 'Tis a most joyous turn of events, of course, but I dare say my heart needs a reprieve from all these sharp twists of fate. To think he'd be alive and well residing in a body composed from magma particles. He furthered his goals by storing his mind within another vessel. 'Tis reminiscent of His Majesty's royal magic. That's interesting. Yeah, stored his mind in another vessel. I'm starting to have theories about more in my head. But we can move on from that for now. I don't think any of them are new. Hello. Oh, finally awake, huh? I mean, come on, sleeping's great and all, but there's so much more fun you can do when you're awake. You can collect pretty flower petals, go splash in the water. Super fun, right? Yeah, definitely. Those were the first two things I was gonna do. This guy doesn't have anything new to say. He's just like, Russell's the only person who remains from the resistance. That's his full, input into the story. Unlikely survivor.
Very nice.
Never before have I seen such incredible magic. Your Highness, as I understand it, you managed to thwart 2 separate attempts on your life, correct? We Elder are used to weathering our fair share of misfortune, and yet you've evidently faced so much worse. Hey, a little bit of respect. Hello.
Oh.
What in the heavens? The dead prince is alive? Old man Russell must be dumbfounded. If the rest of the resistance still lived, I wonder how they might have taken the news. Hello. Oh, nothing new from you. Hello.
Oh, now this I can't believe.
There was this really bright light, and now there's a dead person who came back to life. Are all royalty from the outside world like you? The outside world sounds ridiculous. Alright. Head over to this person. How could this be? 'Tis truly a miracle. Lady Bruaday mentioned that she'd caught wind of some manner of revelation. Could this be the late Queen's? Hello.
Come off it.
Well, I'll be. Am I correct in presuming that you are the prince now? I hadn't heard of any elder boy joining the Resistance's ranks or going out on missions, so seeing you took me by surprise. To think that you are the prince's other half. Fate is a fickle one. It does explain why everyone was like, who are you? What are you doing here? Like, it makes a lot more sense now.
Oh, it's you.
Beyond here lies this altar of secret history, the sanctuary which houses the true story of our people and world. Lady Gruaday awaits you inside. And also, please kindly refrain from making any loud noises, lest you startle the fairies. So there's lots of fairies in there? Are they potentially the people who hold the secrets of the world? Can we go in here? Oh, we definitely can. Oh. Have we seen many doors like that? Like, just in, like, dungeon areas? That's very interesting. Line of caskets. Numerous coffins are laid out in hastily arranged rows.
Really?
I hope people don't blame the resistance for the attack in the village. We're all fighting for the same purpose. These are people from the village who've died. Oh, there's another door here as well. It's locked and the handle is covered by a layer of dust. It seems as though it hasn't been opened in a very long time. Hello?
Huh?
Wait, is that you, Gallica? Oh, you're okay. You left in such a hurry, I was worried.
Well...
Sorry about that. I've been out traveling, actually. I got this really important mission. Oh wow, must be pretty hard. I can tell just by looking at you. And I can tell you've changed a lot too. You're totally different. It's because of this person you're with. Haha, you two are like the king and fairy of legend. King and fairy? Yep, a long time ago there was a man who travelled all across the world and he had a fairy with him. Just like you two. One day that traveller became a mighty king, and his fairy companion became as wise and knowledgeable as a person, and so everyone called her queen. More of a respect thing. That's the legend. Pretty similar to you guys, huh?
But
Queen, huh? But wait, what did the fairy do after the journey ended? Did she stay by the king's side? Who knows? I don't even know if the story's true or not, but if she did stay, I think that would be lovely. Okay, so we know that this world is hinting that it may have this may be a post-apocalyptic version of SMT's world, which is kind of weird, but that would imply that the king and fairy are, well, I can only assume the main character from SMT3, as it is their favorite SMT game, and the pixie who is shown with them, but I don't know. Can we open this one, or is this same stuff? Same stuff, okay. Unless it's a new thing that they're going to tell us about, some new lore, but I don't think it is. The slab is engraved with a number of names. I believe these are the names of all the Resistance members who've lost their lives so far.
it's okay.
I'm sure that somewhere Grius is happy for us too, so we need to keep our heads up, okay? Wait a second. So when we met Grius, I'm almost curious to go back and see if there was anything obvious about that. We knew he was a member of the Resistance, because Gallica knew he was a member of the Resistance. But he didn't know that we were a member of the Resistance. I guess we could have been in a different cell or something, but that's kind of intriguing. Yeah, I wonder what he thought was happening. Alright, so where's this place? Prince's bed. Oh! Me? No, I'm not part of the resistance. I just help out on my own time. I take it you saw the coffins outside. Old man Russell is on his own now. Ever since I was a kid, the old man's been teaching me much about the outside world. The adults all speak ill of the resistance, but the younger folk around here are all genuinely grateful for them. There's a bed I saw in the far side mirror. So this is where the prince spent his days. Huh. Okay. Well, head out here. Is there anywhere else to go? Is that a door on the other side, or is that just a dead end? It looks like a dead end to me, but thought I'd check. And then I also want to check back here to see if we can just leave.
What?
Nope. Okay. And I think that's everything. So, let's make a save, because they put a merchant right here, which makes me think that we're about to enter into combat, because, well, we know that Zorba is here, so at some point we're going to enter into combat. Are we all prepared for it? I think we could be. Yeah, I don't think this is terrible. I think we're ready to go. Let's go. Altar of Secret History. Ah, cool looking place. Oh, hello, fairies.
Huh?
Oh, it's you, Gallica. Yeah, long time no see. I'm so happy you're safe. A long time? Has it really been so long? Oh, I suppose you're right.
Wow.
Wow, I guess you didn't miss me much. It's been several months, you know? Several months? Oh my, Gallica's keeping track of time now, is she?
What?
Huh? What do you mean? A day, a month, a year? That's people talk. What does time matter to a fairy? You're almost like them. And I guess that's kinda cool. So fairies aren't meant to be this involved in the world. They're meant to be a little bit disconnected. I'm going to avoid speaking to her for now, although I do want to speak to these fairies.
Wow.
Oh wow, it's Gallica. I don't know why, but I'm so happy right now. Come on, Gallica, let's play. What should we do? What should we play?
How about that?
I'm sorry, I can't play right now. Another time, okay? What do you mean, can't? Are you really Gallica? Whatever, though. When you can play, I'll be around. I noticed that we have these paintings on the wall. So what are these of? Let's try and get some kind of visual beforehand. Or work out what order they're meant to be in. I'm not entirely sure. let's go this way first. So, this obviously looks like a man and a woman who are just together, but it's definitely very worn. We can't see any other details here. Well, and a horse. A wise-looking youth and a beautiful woman face each other in a familiar forest. Does this depict the Sanctum? Upon closer examination, the woman is an elder. The art appears to be a blessing of the union between the two figures. So this is the king and our mother getting married? Wonder when this scene is supposed to have taken place. The artwork is entitled Union. Uh-huh. So let's have a look at this one. So, we've got someone there's a Clamar by the looks of it, leading a group of soldiers. The mural depicts a historical scene from a seemingly more recent era than the others. A Clamar general leads an army. The soldiers are equipped with modern weaponry, including gauntlet runners and igniters. The artwork is entitled The Second World. So we're assuming that we are in the second world. We are in the post-apocalyptic world. Alright. Well, that's obviously Yugi hanging out with Parapus, and yeah, it's just a scene of cooperation, I think. Is that ruined cities in the background? Is this potentially things restarting? I don't know. The mural depicts a scene from ancient history. The city lies in ruins in the background, a testament to the repercussions of war. In the foreground, resilient survivors take up an agrarian lifestyle. The artwork is entitled Dawn. So that's like Dawn of the Second World, that is the Second World, and then that's Union. So I think this is chronologically how you would see it. Alright, so the further we go over here, the further back in time we're getting, we're assuming. I don't really know what this is. That's obviously an Ishkaya, actually. Oh, all three of these together. The mural depicts a scene from ancient history. Together, the three artworks form one larger scene. Is these the tribes? Yeah, there's 9 of them. So you got Yugi, Parapus on the left. You've got Ishkaya on the right, along with Nadia, because they're small. In the center, I have to assume is Elda, with Roussant, and I'm assuming there's going to be Clamar there as well. And then one of them is going to be Rogue, and one of them is going to be the other one. Alright. 8 youths stand, facing away from each other in a ring formation. At the center of the circle lies a corpse holding a flower. Each figure is from a different tribe. Perhaps the corpse belongs to an Elda. All 8 have their backs to the body. The artwork is entitled Triptych, Birth of the Tribes. So the Elder died, or we're going to assume the center one is actually a human then. Died, and then the tribe split out. So is this kind of showing like the original race died out, and then the rest of them have split away? Yeah, that's what I'm assuming is meant to be taken from that. Alright. Back over here. So this is even further. So this is even further back. So we're going further back. So these are dragons attacking the cities. Or defending them, potentially. The mural depicts a scene from ancient history. An elegant capital city crumbles in flame. Large-scale magic is cast and dragons are let loose into the chaos. The artwork is entitled The War of the Dragons. Yeah, so that is what we saw being talked about in Etria. Next one. This is the first world, and then it looks like that thing in the center is kind of pulsating, and maybe that's what's caused things to happen. The mural depicts a scene from ancient history. A spellbinding city is depicted, filled with towering futuristic architecture that's far beyond anything in the three nations' capitals. The artwork is entitled The Era of Light. Uh-huh. And then the final one. That's the fairies that are making the laughing sound. So this must be... Now they all look like humans, as in humans from our world humans. The mural depicts a scene from ancient history. The image appears to show some academic studying a store of hidden power contained within a person's body. The artwork is entitled The Invention of Magic. Ah. Okay. So... So if we follow the timeline, it's... They found a way to tap into the power held within humans to create magic. Magic led to an era of prosperity, but then led to a war of magic and dragons, which then led to the humans dying, the humans being Elder. Do you think they're called Elder because they're the elder race? I'm starting to think that might be the case. The other tribes split off, presumably due to some activation of the magic within them. Then, coming over here, we've got the destroyed cities. Everything rebuilds from the start with these new tribes. Then, we get into established second world here. And then we get into this, the union of an Elder and the Clamar. So this must be our father and our mother. So I'm thinking that the implication that we're going to get to here is that something to do with the igniters and all of the new tech that's happening right now in this world is going to reflect the tech that was happening here, and we're going to hit the same level of tech that caused this. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen here, but we'll see. Right, give me the lore rundown.
Does this depict the Elder tribe?
Elder comes from an ancient word, meaning only the old ones. It was an alias given by our ancestors to outsiders who visited the village in the distant past.
Yeah, so we are the original, we're the original race that lived upon this world that it looks like the other ones split off from. And Elder does mean elder. Is effectively just meaning we're the ones who were here first.
As for our original name, you know it well by now. We were humans.
Not surprising.
The human tribe. So Luis's words...
There is no human tribe. Tribes, as we know them today, did not exist then. We were all one people. Humankind.
A world united. But wait, the ruins on Virga Island, there's nothing left of the civilization today. Was it destroyed? Why? How?
A war. One that all but destroyed the world past. But its destruction was born of the discovery of Magla. Or as you call it today, magic.
Okay, so that's what the pulsing thing we're seeing there is. It's probably a collection of that's probably some sort of collection of magic of Magla, or a radiance of Magla. And that's, yeah, that was it, showing that that's the new source of power.
Do you wonder what they battled over? Without the divided tribes, what could they have disagreed on? They were racked by division. Over the abstract, undefinable idea of rightness. They tried to destroy something invisible, and destroyed only themselves. And any idea of absolute rightness is born of fear. That fear flooded the world, and gave way to war. And their age of prosperity came to be called the world before. The people we now call tribes were either born of artificial division for the sake of the war effort, or natural adaptation to survive the hellscape after.
Alright, so there wasn't anything specific about the Magla that caused the destruction. It's just that they happen to have tools that could destroy each other and destroy the world effectively. I can see what the parallels are drawing to the real world here. Also, interesting, the tribes were either born of artificial division, so they were created. That would explain why the Rusant are specifically stronger, why the Tlamar are specifically leaders, and why some of the tribes are thriving. Like you've got Ishkaya are smarter, Rusant are stronger, Tlamar leaders. That all makes sense. Nadia are good at glamours. They were probably artificially created as maybe spies or something. Alright. And then you've got things like the Parapus and Yugif, who are the natural adaptations to surviving what was to pass. Probably the Rogue as well. Although they do live longer, but we're assuming the Rogue probably it's just the survival of the fittest thing that they're going for here. Humanity was torn apart by fear and anxiety, giving rise to the tribes as we know them.
Unbelievable. We've met plenty of people caught up in pointless conflicts. Given the choice, I know they'd rather live in a world without tribal division. And yet the truth is, that world's already fallen apart. More than that, it's how we all got here.
Such drastic physical changes would normally have taken eons to effect. Accelerated by Magla, however, it was only a matter of a scant few centuries. You understand now, yes? We, the Elder, are the survivors of the old world. Our ancestors fled the flames of war and thus escaped the ensuing divisions.
That means the Prince, that is to say, I'm a scion of both the old world and the new.
It beggars belief. Tis nothing short of astounding. But then, why do we know these monsters as humans?
Presumably because they are.
By the war's end, both sides were consumed by fear. Their magical assaults escalated with each retaliation, until it was beyond all control. Our world became a hell. Rampant Magla distorts the body and mind. By now, I'm sure you know that better than you ever wished to. Humans are what remains of that branch of humankind that succumbed to melancholia. Broken, horrifying testaments to their own mistakes in the war of magic.
They're effectively humans who used the magic to try and enhance or attack, and then eventually, due to melancholia, it corrupted them in the same way it corrupted all the monsters. So they are technically humans, they're just humans who are infected by magic, but because all the other humans were dead or in hiding, they became known as humans. Okay.
Some persist, breed, and multiply as any beast does. Others live centuries of agony before their lives burn out. Even we do not know the full scope of their nature. Regardless, when the 8 tribes settled in this land, our claim to the human legacy was forgotten. To the people, the name only meant slavering, insane monsters. Therefore, we took on an alias instead. The same one by which we are known today. The Elder.
So, the old world couldn't control its magic, and... Wait. How does the Sanctus Church fit in? All this revisionist history to spread their magic igniters.
Indeed, what are magic igniters to you? Tools for the Church to shackle the people, perhaps? Or weapons that hide magic's true potential? Am I close to the mark? In truth, it's the opposite. Igniters are tools made to limit magic. Restraints made in self-discipline, meant to avert a repeat of history's destructive mistakes.
So the Sanctus Church has been created as a way of limiting the amount of magic that can go on in the world, by effectively saying, actually, we're going to try and make this show, we're going to try and show this is the only way of casting magic. You can still do some, but they're going to make people think that the only way of doing it is via this. That explains why the Mage Academy was shut down, potentially. And it explains why Luis is so powerful. It's because he is not... Well, it's been shown that he is able to cast magic without an igniter, so he is using it without the restraint. All of this is adding up.
The Sanctus Church of today is muddied by greed, but its faith was born of good intentions. They once urged self-control, and thus control of one's personal magic. At times, they preached we must close our eyes to the truth when it would only lead us to ruin. By this benign tenet, history was obscured, and the Elder denounced.
I had no idea. There's a grim irony in that.
His Majesty only hid his son's ancestry to protect him. Yet in the end, that meant Forden could attack the village under any pretext he liked, his motives concealed.
With all that said, you have now reclaimed your true form. The friends that stand with you are of different tribes and ideologies, but of one mind.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through the people behind us here. So we've got Tlamar, Ishkaya. You've got Rusant, Mustari. I figured out the one we're missing. We're missing Rogue, but Rogue was that was Gretus, effectively. But we do, instead of that, have Gallica as a 10th. But the implication from what we heard about the King and the Fairy is that they were around potentially before all of this went down? Huh. Anyway, moving on.
As you are now, you may walk the path of the rightful king. The path of a modern world, where the tribes walk as individuals, yet with mutual respect and cooperation.
The sovereign's power, thou king to be, entrusted with the will of the people. To bear their hopes is to be their rock in the storm, and to face anxiety in their names.
Oh?
Yet, anxiety itself is not something to blindly reject or desperately cast away. It begins with a simple thing, acknowledging its existence. Accept thy weakness, walk forward alongside it, and thou wilt grow strong and true in its company.
There is weakness in people. I'm sure there are many who would say that helping anyone in need is nothing but a fantasy.
And besides...
But realistic or not, I refuse to accept Luis's methods as the alternative. The weak and those who dissent don't deserve to die out, as though that's the natural order. Ho ho ho! Very cool. Study the Prince archetype. My determination to challenge the unknown has awakened the heroic embodiment of the Prince.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. If no one understands me right away, I accept that. There will still be meaning in showing them my convictions in the fight to come.
Let's fight.
That is my mission.
That's it. I've made up my mind. I'm with you to the end, no matter what.
Where's this coming from?
Before we got there, this guiding voice thing told me my duties were over. But what am I gonna do? Just go, okay, bye? Especially after we've come this far together? No. I'm going to face Luis with you, even if it is scary.
Even you've got to cope with anxiety, eh?
I realized something in our travels. Anxiety can lead people astray. But overcoming it makes a person stronger. There's always anxiety in the unknown. I know what it's like to be afraid of something I don't understand. That's why I think it's my duty to help people face and connect with their anxiety. Is that okay? From now on, it's not about orders. I'm with you, because I want to be.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I want you by my side until the end.
Same here. Stick close to me, okay?
Well, we're past the worst of it. But the problem remains. Luis's dark magic. We've seen it turn the boy into a monster. And no doubt he can do it again.
Maybe not being a being made of magla might help this time, or not fully.
A forbidden spell, turning sane mortals into the fearsome human monsters. In other words, a destabilizing magic, turning a person's magla into a snarl beyond control. This man named Luis, he may have his own past in this ancient sanctum.
Luis has been here? What do you know of him?
What do you wish to know?
Everything. Tell me about Luis.
Who exactly is Luis?
Every time I heard of his doings in the wider world, I felt more and more sure that Luis is from this village. His knowledge of humans, his skills in magic, his grasp of darker arts, they're all beyond a mere soldier to begin with, however prodigious. As it happens, a name does occur. Among those old families who perished in the fire, there was one by the name of Caradrius.
Well, that seems awfully suspicious, given that's the name of his airship.
A family of doctors, I believe. In an effort to better heal the ills of the people, they had studied spells much like the ones he now exploits. The details are long since lost to the fire. But if Luis bears our legacy, that may be the reason for his vast knowledge.
Wait, what about Luis's ambition? The vision Rella saw? Do you think he actually wants to turn everyone in the kingdom into humans?
There is no known magic strong enough to turn many people at once, and none that can be cast quickly.
Even if it was possible, I don't know what it would accomplish. But this is Luis we're talking about. Who knows what he's thinking?
What do you wish to know?
Tell me about the forbidden spell, I guess.
What is this forbidden spell?
The essence of magic is in the control of magla. However, just as its chaos may be calmed, it can also be deliberately pushed out of control. That was what you saw. He whipped your innate magic to a frenzy and you were lost to melancholia. Just as the humans of the ancient war once were.
Oh, so it might have been that these humans in the ancient war were created by opposing sides, effectively trying to disrupt the other side from doing the magic they wanted to by turning them into monsters who would then attack their own sides, leading to effectively everyone getting killed by these monsters.
In every age, the cause and effect are the same. People learn fear, become slaves to their anxiety, suffer, and thus, the power of magic is born.
Pardon me. You mean to say anxiety is the source of all magic?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Magla is a substance born of the heart, generated when one feels anxiety or fear. By certain means, it may be kindled into power. That is what we call magic. In this way, it is by virtue of the anxiety in our hearts that we gain the power to overcome it. Magic is a natural process, and anxiety is its invaluable, irreducible fuel. But in turn, those burdened with more anxiety and fear produce more and more magla from their hearts. Without the willpower to face your fear, the magla overflows. Uncontrollable by magic, it can give rise to strange and terrible happenings as it manifests, with the world embroiled in chaos. These outbursts of swollen magic may be happening all across our kingdom.
'Tis the answer to everything. The melancholia crystals, the beasts driven feral, The very land is erupting with the weight of its people's fears.
Hold on. If Luis's art is rooted in bringing out this chaos, then anyone might be next. He said he became a monster because he's elder, but that wasn't the complete story. If what you say is true...
Indeed. All people today are ultimately descendants of humankind. If Luis so chooses, he could turn anyone into a human monster. Yet as long as you have the strength to confront your fears, even this transformation may be defied and overcome.
But if he would turn people into humans, if in the unlikely event that happens...
If there is any motive for such cruelty, it can only be hatred. If Luis is truly from this village, then their fire would have cost him everything. Such unjust tragedy could easily beget a thirst for revenge, even if it meant wielding a magic that twisted life into something terrible, instead of uplifting it. Indeed, it seems the opposite of an archetype. A truly dark power.
Who goes there? Someone flees!
That's him! The malformed assassin who struck at the prince. He's bound for the woods.
After him!
Thanks, Russell. Oh, memorandum? Oh, there's a lot of memorandum, huh? The magla particles are produced by feelings of anxiety, and when fear or apprehension becomes excessively strong, unconscious feelings of hostility and a desire to eliminate the source of those feelings are transmitted into magla, triggering an unintentional outburst of magic which can go rampant. Melancholization is when creatures and surrounding objects undergo an irregular transformation due to this magical outburst. Although it is thought that severe melancholization that alters even physical appearance of a subject could not occur outside wartime in present-day peace, there are actually increasing cases of melancholization outside of people-occupied lands. It is unclear what is causing these unnatural occurrences, or unusual occurrences, as though the kingdom has been plagued with years-long anxiety. The truth of magic igniters. Igniters assist with the most difficult parts of using magic, and the process of accurately imagining the phenomenon one wishes to bring about. The igniter substitutes imagination with a formula in its circuits, making magic easier. This technology was created in the old world, where people who had already discovered magic could use igniters to amplify their power. Igniters and the technology that created them were lost in the aftermath of the War of Destruction, and became forbidden as a result. But as people began to seek magic again over time, igniters were rediscovered and used in quite the opposite way as they had originally been intended. Those in power disseminated them with falsehood that they were a requirement for the use of magic in an effort to prevent magic from becoming the destructive force it once was. Their collar-like form is a symbol of this. Oh. The truth of relics. Originally highly advanced magic igniters, they were created in with old world technology before the War of Destruction, rediscovered and passed down until the present. Each has various differing functions, though the majority were created as dangerous weapons of war. Their capabilities and perils have hardly begun to be rediscovered, and many are treated in accordance with local superstition. Makes sense. I'm just going to go in and out so we can get to the next slot. Truth of magic. A technique that uses magla particles to intervene in the laws of physics and cause phenomena that would not occur in a natural state. Since magla is linked to one's mind, magic can, in theory, be used to control nature by the power of will alone, with enough training. Magic was discovered before the War of Destruction, became the driving force behind the breakthroughs of civilization, ushering in a golden age. However, magic is also the embodiment of the weakness, vileness, and deep-seated fear of the mind, ultimately becoming the weaponized downfall of humanity in history's most notorious war. The truth of magla. Unique particles discovered toward the end of the Old World. One of the smallest components that make up creation, there is a small correlation to cognition and the psyche. Its properties were studied, and a technique was discovered that used the workings of the mind to interfere with the physical world, leading to the creation of magic. However, it is theorized that many practiced it empirically long before it was classified as science. The term mag comes from the word magla, and in the old world, mag was simply its unit of measurement. However, laymen do not grasp the true meaning, as the characters used to write it have changed. They say nothing of the existence of the old world being repressed knowledge. Luis's dark art. A horrific magic Luis used against Graham, presumed to function by forcibly circulating overwhelming magic through a person's body, artificially causing extreme melancholization and turning the person into a monster. Self-evidently impossible without deep knowledge of buried truths as Magla's nature and the origin of humans. It provides a glimpse into Luis's true origin and the world he envisions, among other things. Aha. The truth of humans. The giant outburst of magic heralding the War of Destruction's end melancholized much of old world humankind to become what the world knows as humans today. Some vestiges of their humanity are evidenced in the various body parts that resemble modern people. Human biology is irregular. Some are capable of reproduction, others are capable of living hundreds of years. The particulars are beyond modern understanding. People. The truth of the Elder Tribe. Descendants of humans who lived in the old world and progenitors of the 8 tribes that came to populate the modern world following the rampage of civilization and devastation during the War of Destruction. After the War of Destruction, most of humanity fractured into the tribes of the modern world. However, unknown to the majority of people, the descendants of some nobles who escaped the flames of war retained their mostly featureless forms over generations. They also retained much knowledge and magic from the old world thought lost, but because they know the destruction that it led to, many actively avoid the post-war world and choose to live hidden and secluded. Sorry, just go back there again. Retained knowledge and magic. Yeah. That's fine. Sorry, I thought it was something else in there, but there wasn't. The old world. A world from over 1,000 years ago, completely unlike the present. The sole civilized inhabitants were called mankind. That's interesting, that doesn't match what they said. They said humankind. Anyway, doesn't matter. A people linked to the present day Elder Tribe who wielded magic on a level far beyond any known in the present. The nation fell during the War of Destruction, an apocalyptic worldwide conflict. Very few traces of this world remain, such as the city ruins that slumber deep beneath the Dragon Temple, as well as the artifacts known as divine relics scattered throughout the land. War of Destruction. A world war from thousands of years ago waged by the original tribe of mankind, which begat the destruction of the old world. However, this also marked the birth of many weapons, presently known as divine relics and dragons, made possible by their incredible advances in magic technology, far beyond any of present day. Yeah, that is interesting. Effectively, humans created dragons, like, out of magic. That's wild. The truth of the prince. The son and heir to the throne of King Hythlodius V, the prince and Graham are now one and the same. The attack on the prince inside the royal palace led his aides to conclude the capital was no longer safe for him, so they secretly moved the prince to the ancient Elden Sanctum to continue recovering. Alas, their Elden techniques were not enough to lift his curse, and he continued to decline until falling into a coma. However, he had guidance from a mysterious voice and an indomitable will that would not see his ideals abandoned. Through these, a new body made of magla was created, much like the dragons of yore. The prince's spirit inhabited this new body, and he started another life as an entirely separate young man. That young man, oddly enough, pursues a journey to change the world, something the prince likely would have wished to take on had he been well enough. Through that journey, the young man came to know the truth behind everything, and after his spirit returned to his body, he could then reveal himself publicly as the prince once more. Old Hermitess Gruidae. An elderly Elder Tribe chiefess living in the ancient Elden Sanctum. Once the principal lady-in-waiting for the queen, she's a sagacious woman who safeguards the true history behind the Elder Tribe, the old world, and magic. She was also the person who took custody of the prince and kept him safe after he secretly fled the royal palace. And that's all of that. You got anything else to say? Milady Gruidae. That intruder came here to claim the prince's life. As it stands, his mission remains unfulfilled. In other words, the assassin hasn't fled. You should assume he lies in wait, biding his time for another opportunity to come at you. Also, wait a second.
What now?
We got a new class, right? Prince. We did indeed. Okay. Just seeing what the stats were like. Cooperative chase. Support attacks from comrades happen more easily and enemies are stunned more easily in overworld combat. Heavy physical slash damage to one enemy. Damage boosted against human type monsters. So this would be why people wanted me to level strength. I can see that pretty clearly. But this is heavy light magic, which doesn't seem too bad. Recovers HP and MP each time a support attack lands in overworld combat. Adds 4 turn icons. Can only be used once per battle. Let me just look at phrasing for something somewhere else. Basilio. So this says it can be used once per battle as well. So I think battle must mean turn in their world. Despite that not being what it means, even within the context of the game. Cool. Resists all affinity damage other than Almighty. Ooh, that's incredible. Like, even if you don't use Prince, you should level it to that point so that you can inherit it. Then Royal Slash. Deals extreme physical almighty damage to one enemy. Damage boosted against this human type. Damage boosted against human type monsters. So this is probably the main ability that people think that you need strength for, because if you don't have strength, then you're not going to do extreme physical almighty damage, and because it's physical, it can probably crit. So I think I see what people are, what they were getting at. Okay, cool. What else have we got in here though? Royal Sword. That's cool. Oh, Armageddon's Final Sire. Deals 999 damage to all enemies. First ally Royal Archetype, second ally Royal Archetype, third ally Royal Archetype. These are physical. Hey, we do have a fire art at least. Yeah, okay, we've got some stuff we could do. Yeah, it inflicts all enemies with a one-time weakness to dark. I guess you would do that and then hit them with... That also inflicts a one-time weakness to dark. I guess you'd hit them with this and then hit them with that a lot. Ice damage and then Wild Boar. Huh. Okay. Cool. We're gonna switch. Oh, and you can use the Seeker weapons.
I walk a royal path.
I see. So it assumes that you would level Seeker, and then you would end up with this. That makes a level of sense. Yeah. Okay. Do we have anything new, by the way, in terms of clothes? It's probably the same, right? Yeah, those are the same. Okay. Cool. You. What's up? I've never felt more at peace than here. I flitted around a lot, but this village, and especially this place, is just so relaxing. I do agree.
Oh, it's you!
Right, it's just this aura that draws us fairies in. I wonder if folk like you feel the same thing.
And yet...
This village sure does have a lot of fairies. More than I've seen in any other place I've been, actually. Yeah, we don't tend to stick around in one place for very long. I guess this place is the exception. Isn't that just like a fairy, to find something we like and stay there for as long as we want? Yeah, we're still not entirely sure what fairies are yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that. Alright. Hello. By their very nature, fairies are magical beings who can recalibrate the density of their magma particles at will. Should the need arise, they can make themselves practically invisible to those with a lesser sensitivity to magma. That's why Gallica goes largely unnoticed. It is also why fairies make excellent messengers. Oh, I did it on auto, sorry. I dare say the Sanctum is the sole place you'll find this many fairies flitting about without concern for being hidden. Needless to say, this bond is a testament to the long-standing intertwining of elder traditions and magic. So that actually answered something I had in episode 1. Why is nobody reacting to Gallica? It's because if she doesn't want to be seen, then she isn't seen, essentially. Hello.
I beg your pardon.
That sword once belonged to the prince, did it not? Though, I suppose now that makes you its rightful owner. One glance and I can tell. You still use it even now. Not only for combat, but for sword surfing as well. That sword was a gift from Her Highness, our Queen, and your mother. She was quite skilled with it, free-spirited as she was. She'd fly about the forest much to the ire of Lady Gruaday. Any concerns concerning your lineage are disproved by this blade and how you use it. You indeed Her Highness's flesh and blood. Alright. Save. I'm saving here in case we don't get the shot, and we want to come back, but I don't think we'll need to. Let's go. Oh? No, I guess we can get the shop here. Also, hello.
It's too much to take.
The assassin came running out of that door. Who could have assumed that he was still hiding within the Sanctum? Hello. That assassin who fled, his flow of magla bore little resemblance to a normal person's. It was unsettling. Please be careful. Yeah, so his flow of magla has been disrupted, so we're assuming that he's had some of the disruption that Luis did upon us, but not all of it. At least that's what we can gather. Hello.
Awful.
What?
Just awful.
What is it now? Accursed scoundrels, have you not stirred things up enough? Wow. Bit of victim blaming going on here. Hello.
Oh, now this I can't
That spell that
believe.
went off was massive. I'm sure even the intruder wanted to know what was going on. Seeing as they came to kill the prince, they're probably after you. People from the outside world are mad. Hello.
What in the blazes?
I thought the assassin fled. What was he doing back here? Don't tell me you were followed. Oh, probably. Seems likely. I'm just checking that we're done in here. I think we are. But... oh, hello.
But what is there to do now?
There's quite the clamour coming from outside, isn't there? Oh, please don't let it be another incident. Okay, well... let's head over to the right here. Let's have a chat with you. Are you leaving to the outside? I don't like how the outside feels anymore. So be careful, okay? After all, you just woke up from the longest nap ever. Well, see you later. Excuse me, I thought fairies didn't have a concept of time. I guess they just said it was long. It's not really a time concept, is it? Hello. Oh. I was going to speak to Russell, but I guess we're speaking to him here. Russell, is everyone safe? We are. We've had no casualties, however. We were swept aside like pebbles, unworthy of even a glance. I could do nothing but watch. I was powerless against him.
No.
There was little else that could have been done. Responsible as they were for the downfall of the resistance, any move we might have made would have resulted in needless sacrifices. I believe the intruder sensed the power of the prince's awakening and came to investigate. I don't know why he would have run away, but surely he has a plan. Tread carefully, please. Okay. I will. Let's go. Subterranean passage. Wait, can we speak with you again? Yes.
Watch out!
We'll chase after the intruder. Russell, everyone, please be careful. Of course, and with the prince only just having woken, that accursed assassin went racing out of the cave. I can't fathom why, but he looked most bemused. 'Twas rather unsettling.
Ready?
Bemused. Alright, let's go.
Stop!
Oh, that worked.
You. Zorba. So it was you behind the attack?
Indeed it was. I killed the prince, though he died all too easily. And the odd thing was, his aura felt awfully similar to yours. So I decided to bide my time a while and listen. And it's a good thing I did. There really is something stranger going on. Who are you? Are you the prince or not? Whatever your answer, I must report back to Lord Luis.
Do you have any idea what Luis is really scheming? If he becomes king, everyone in this country is doomed.
If that is what Lord Luis so desires, then I shall see it done.
It's almost impressive how blind your faith in him is.
I suppose it's just easier to follow instead of thinking for himself. He's forgotten anything he really wants.
What do you intend to do? The crown is too heavy a burden for your reedy frame. Lord Luis is the true king, who will save the worthy. And you are nothing but a powerless imposter, only fit to be sacrificed.
He is no imposter, fiend. His Highness has finally taken his first steps on the road to victory. Here, at his journey's end, after enduring these countless hardships, he has become a true successor, a true ruler. Because he knows the people's suffering firsthand.
Well, imposter or not, it's all the same if he's a corpse. And so I shall return the prince and his dying legacy to the underworld, where they belong.
Oh, wow.
Bastard! I wondered why you ran away, but it was all to lure us straight to this monstrosity.
Did he summon out of thin air? That's impressive.
Keep your guard up. The Melancholia is fueling his magic power.
We've come too far to be stopped by something like him. Let's put our power on full display.
Let's go. The power of your newly earned Archetype print surges
Guy
forth.
shows up again just when we've unlocked some new power. Kinda feels like fate by now. Okay, time for a new fight. Stay on your toes.
Prince Archetype unlocked. The Prince is an archetype exclusive to the protagonist. You can change it out as you wish. It can act as support for all synthesis skills. What? It can act as support for all synthesis skills. It has unique traits not found in other archetypes, but none of its skills can be transferred. Oh, you can't transfer skills. Oh. Oh, okay then. Yeah. Interesting.
All right, let's take it down and then get after Zorba.
But the fact you can use it as synthesis for anything means that all of our other characters now have all their synthesis available. Why would I use heavy slash damage? Are you crazy?
Come forth.
Why would I not use, like, well, any of these other ones, to be honest, would be better. Although these are all physical, right? I guess I'd probably want to use fire art if I can.
Maybe there's a better choice.
It does tell me to use this, though, so let's use it once and see.
Blade's edge.
Aha!
This is the power.
So I've now got new synthesis, and I've got new synthesis because he acts as the extra for all of them. So when they have like 4 synthesis requirements, like he can make it, or I guess 3 is the normal one. He can make it easier to achieve. Huh. If I go for swapping out here, not that I want to actually swap out. I just want to check. Does it show them all as? See, it doesn't show them all as active yet, but I'm assuming maybe. Oh no, they're not all active on us. Oh, okay. Oh no, that's because these require items as well. Yeah. Okay. But yes, see, this one requires Seeker, Mage, or Healer, and we don't have any of that. Oh. Okay.
Take my fullest power.
Let's see how we want to handle this. I think I want to pass right now, actually.
Who should I come here?
So we now have the ability to do like a strike one that will then give a one-time weakness to strike. That probably seems like the right choice here. Although significantly decreasing attack is quite nice. Let's do that. Seems like a solid one if we're not going to kill it this turn. Then shelter formation. Cool. Yeah, so that did basically no damage to us.
Is that all?
And it does wind.
Come forth, royal soul.
All right.
Let's work together.
Fire art. Hit it.
I leave it to you.
Fire.
Even my strength.
That was reasonable.
Devil summoner.
Could increase attack here.
I must concentrate.
Do some of this if we wanted to. I think we pass, and then we hit you with a. We run forward, and we hit you with a one-time weakness to strike. Although we probably use the person who's got more strength to do it. Wonderful.
Let's hit that new weakness. Shield! We've got to do something about those apples.
Oh, it crit. That's all fine. We could do it for heal, but...
Let me handle those apples.
Okay. Have Gallica knock down apples to keep the foe from healing? Sure, why not?
Right, leave it to me.
Why would I say no to that?
Now it can't heal itself anymore. Don't waste your chance. Get in there.
Okay. Although, one thing I do also want to do is want to switch out party members here. So switch. I'm going to swap out you. No, sorry, not you. I'm going to swap out you for our ninja here.
I leave the rest to you.
Whose turn it will now be. And then you are going to steal.
Nothing, sorry.
Oh, we got this ripe apple.
Stay insane. Right.
Now we want to use wanton destruction. Huge. I want to throw in a thing to lower a... Let's see. Decrease attack. There we go, just to keep that on there. We can now do Sable Dance. Oh, okay. Don't need to. We don't need to do that either. Actually, I'm probably better off just throwing a defense decrease on it. Ow. Alright. Nullifies 1 slash pierce strike attack for caster. Lowers enemy's attack. As I could have passed the previous... No, I only had half a turn. I was going to say I could have passed and then used Tarunda, but I don't think I could have. Pass.
I love this.
Wanton destruction.
Observe the enemy.
I
defer to you.
That wasn't what I meant to do, but that's okay. I want to swap you back out now. You got anything I want to do here? What's Masquerade charge? Yeah, I want to do that, probably.
I retreat
for now. Center stage. Come on, help me
Masquerade charge. Let's go.
Thank you.
Cool.
More apples? Quick, knock them off again.
That's fine. So now I can hit you with wanton destruction and we are charged up, right? Status? Yes. Perfect. Hit him. That's good. We want to apply the attack down again.
Let's stay calm.
Want to apply the defense down again. Want to pass. And then wanton destruction again.
Is everyone all right?
Followed by shelter formation. That's a lot of turn icons. So it's going to heal for 1,000 again. This is going to heal for 4,000, which would be a problem. That's perfectly acceptable.
Only a flesh wound.
That's also perfectly acceptable. No issues. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so... Pass.
Don't underestimate me. I call upon a royal soul.
Raise attack. I'm actually just going to charge here.
I stand ready.
We're not going to get round to us again. Do I need to reapply defense? Yeah, I could apply defense again to us if I wanted to, but let's pass for now.
No.
Lower defense.
This should work.
And then raise attack. Right. So we currently have a kill next turn. Let's see what happens. That's a lot of turns. We might not have a kill now, because that's 2 heals that he's had, but that should be fine. It's only 2,000 health, and we're going to do like 3,000 damage. Yeah, that's still fine. Did we get a miss there? Nope. Yeah, it's not doing very much per hit. Despite me saying I should heal, I haven't, so... Well, hit it.
Strike true. Right in their weak spot.
Observe the
That's pretty good.
Dark Knight.
Shelter formation. Oh, was he? He was on the back row. No, that's why I did nothing.
Let's set it up.
Let's hit you with a fire art.
I'll lend a hand myself.
Oh, it's dead. Oh, okay then. That did 1,000 damage. Ooh, we got a new weapon as well. Almost like it expected you to have a new class to use it with. Also, did you see how much XP we got versus how much of a rank we got? We got almost no rank progress.
I shall rise to the occasion.
I shall strive to use.
Does it seem that I've grown stronger? I've learned a new skill.
Ooh, Dance of Purge Light. One-time weakness to light.
I learned a
Cool.
new ability.
War Cry, I like that one. That is very good. Decrease attack defense for all enemies for 3 turns. Incredibly good.
The bastard got away.
I say, you chaps boggle the mind. It's no mean feat to fight on even footing with a human.
I'd hoped as much. You may yet have the power to face Luis at his full strength.
It's good to see you're safe. We've certainly taken these powers a long way. Maybe we thought ourselves invincible, but don't worry. At long last, the prince is safe. In a manner of speaking. Everything's going according to plan.
Still, what's our next move? The people think you a monster. We'll not find any public backing like this.
Alces once said that His Highness the Prince was a soul born into adversity. He is royalty and elder both, heir to the legacies of heaven and earth. He is water and fire, in condemned conflux. When the day comes that His Highness may be revered as the good ruler he can be, then the world will truly be free of prejudice. And that, he said, is why we fight.
In his own words, huh? We have to fight for what he believed in. All the more reason we can't turn from this.
Right.
Years of prejudice won't go away overnight. Nothing could accomplish that. But if we don't believe that things can change, they never will.
Come what may. My life is a shield raised in your highness's name. Are you prepared to fight Luis to the bitter end?
I'm prepared.
Of course. I'm prepared.
Yes. That determination is how we'll stop him.
If he ends up king, he'll be sending all traitors to the gallows. Not just us, but any innocent folks he doesn't find use for.
We've lost too many lives along this journey, and if Luis has his way with the world, such partings would become all too common. We have to stop him.
Look, I'm never giving up hope either, okay? All we have to do is beat him, right?
Hope you'll sing a victory song.
Looking forward to the victory song.
Well, we've got bigger things to worry about now. But I can't wait to sing it.
You... I'm still amazed. You really do look just like your mother. Truly, you are a child of fate. Your mother, she loved your father, and you with all her heart. The injustice that befell this village is not your fault. But listen well. Once you leave this village, you cannot return until you have fulfilled your ambitions. After all, an old crone like me can't take care of you forever. If you want to overcome your hardest challenges, you'll have to face them yourself. The world's fate is in your hands. Please, put an end to the tragedies of humankind's failures.
I will.
Yes, I will.
Our final battle lies ahead. We cannot lose. Yet, before all else, His Highness has only just awoken. Let us rest in the Gauntlet Runner for today, and advance to the royal capital tomorrow.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? I was convinced we'd been together for a long time. But I can't believe we've only just met. The beginning of my journey may have been a false memory, but my journey with you and the memories we've made, those are all real. Well, guess I'm repeating myself, but I'm glad we're working together.
Stay beside me forever.
Stay beside me forever.
Wow, when you put it like that, you're gonna make me blush. But thanks.
Having overcome her trial, I can sense newfound conviction from Gallica as both an ally and a friend.
The mystical fairy, Gallica. She who still keeps the virtues of the mage. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of her newfound powers, work together to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Rank up.
We've got the path to tomorrow in front of us, and I'm gonna lead the way.
We are now rank 8 with Gallica. The party can now study the Elemental Master and Warlock. During squad battles, you may gain extra turn icons. You may not, but you may. Alright. And that gives us 2 new archetypes. Although what's interesting is now we have Prince. Those are a lot less appealing. But I guess they're going to have some very good abilities that we can inherit into Prince, which is going to be what we're looking for. You can now study the Elemental Master in Academia. You can now study the Warlock in Academia. Oh.
When things get tough, remember this magic. The music meant for you will play in your head.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the music in her head is canonical. It's not just that there is that there's background music in the game. That is her magic. Anyway, this is the magic of music that Gallica cast for me once. Now that I think about it, it may have helped me in ways I didn't realize.
By the way, the Chieftess told me something about your novel. Apparently your parents gave you that book when you were still just a kid. I wonder what your parents wanted you to get from reading it. What they hoped for you, I guess. I suppose you'll have to find out for yourself.
This book is the legacy of my parents, the late King of Uchronia and the Queen of the Elden Sanctum. Perhaps the utopia depicted in this book wasn't a mere fantasy, but ideas of the old world passed down in the Sanctum.
The part we're reading today is the last chapter. It's about the ruler of this ideal world. Let's read it together.
All right.
The last chapter is about the ruler of a utopia. The one who governs this utopia must have an unwavering will. To maintain justice in this world, there are innumerable obstacles to overcome. Yet, as long as one lives by their ideals, those who support them are sure to follow. A utopia is not the creation of a single mind or a single power. It is a world shaped by all its people. The last part sounds a little more metaphorical.
A little bit metaphorical, you say? That seems like that might have something to do with the name of the game.
There's a little more. However, even a utopia may one day fray at the edges, and its people may come to conflict over the question of what is right. What is a true utopia? What is a true ruler? None have yet found the answers to these questions.
That was what they said. That's what Gerude said was the cause of the war. It was them fighting for what they believed was rightness, fighting an invisible enemy. So is the implication here that the utopia will naturally lead to conflict between people as they search what's right, and that will lead to the downfall of everything? Is that what we're getting at here? Then true utopia has never been achieved. The so-called utopia depicted within the novel was based on the old world, but it fell into ruin and was destroyed by war. So if this book traces the trajectory of the old world, are these truly the ideas we're striving for? It seems rather the opposite.
So even the author of this book struggled with these questions. And if you become king, you'll have plenty of tough questions and struggles to face yourself. Lady Cruiday mentioned the king was a real idealist when he first arrived at the village. But little by little, the pains of reality crushed his hope. And he even lost his son. In the end, his will was broken. He didn't lift a finger to stop the church's rise to power.
But he did put into place the plan after he died. So, obviously something was still there of his idealism. And we get the feeling that more is related to it as well.
With that in mind, I can honestly see why people would be drawn to Luis. His values are radical and cruel, but he's devoted to them. Unshakable, even. But we can't lose either. For the sake of everyone who has believed in us along the way.
Even if I were to win the throne, there's no guarantee my idealistic vision could ever become a reality. Also, it explains why, even though Luis has this book and he's read it, and he keeps it around, why he may take a different view as to what the book means. He might see this as a warning, and that is how he has read the book, compared to how we've read it. Like, we read it as a guide, he read it as a warning. He knew what it was about. He knew it was about the old world. So, Luis's view of this book is very different. This is a what we don't want to happen, effectively.
Right.
And yet, what choice is there but to believe in them and fight on? The alternative is to accept that nothing will change.
You've got the power to change the world. And the one who gave it to you was, well, yourself. And that's what I'm going to help you with. That's my mission. My real mission. And I'm going to see it through.
After discussing the novel and our ideals for Gallica, I closed my eyes. Oh, does Moore want to talk? Academia. It seems I've been summoned by Moore in a dream.
I saw what happened. So, you found a way to unequivocally shape your destiny. As far as I know, there is no record of your newly acquired archetype ever being used, even in ancient times. An archetype whose existence was only theoretical, known to some scholars as the magic of true sovereignty. Indeed, a power of legend. I once said that to be elder was your inescapable fate. However, it seems the truth was more complex than that. Magic is a process by which we confront fate and tame anxiety. And archetypes are its essence. They are manifestations of a resolve capable of heroic virtue. So then, what do you think is the foremost, most inescapable fate a person must bear?
The foremost fate? Not really sure, but for me to be me, and for you to be you? Or something like that.
Indeed. It is birth that is inescapable. You cannot choose who you are born to, and once your familial place is determined, that fate cannot be changed. Yet by some strange tangle of destiny, you were given a choice that the very act of existence denies most people. By your own will, you were born again, as a prince. Do you understand? You stand on the threshold of truly becoming a ruler, not as an unearned title of bloodline's chance, nor as a mere authority over people. You have taken control of your life. You are ready to rule your very self. That is what it truly means to be a hero. And it is the crux of the power that is awakened within you. What glorious coincidence indeed, that I as a scholar of archetypes, might cross paths with and witness such a remarkably fated boy. It almost bespeaks.
Indeed, 'tis his hands that bear our fate.
Oh. I remember. I know that I know this voice. Had I forgotten it all this time?
Wait a second.
Indeed, 'tis his hands that bear our fate.
Our fate? If we assume that the voice that we can hear is our mother's voice, then more before us would be the king? As I suggested very long ago. I mean, he's got white hair. He looks kind of like the figure that we saw in the painting. He's Clamar, like the figure that we saw in the painting. He's idealistic. He studied the old magic. I think there's a chance.
Yes. I swear I've heard it before. And I let it slip from my mind. Who are you? You with this voice that moves hearts. Speak. Who are you? Why have you awakened this boy to his power?
If it is answers you seek, then go and claim them.
Are you? Could you be?
As for you, I bid thee awaken. Move onward to thy final ordeal. Take thy place at the final proving of the ascension of kings.
My consciousness faded away, and I was sent back to my sleep. I'm reminded that Moore was the author of the fantasy novel. Has Moore visited the ancient Elden Sanctum?
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Ooh, new artwork. That's cool.
Okay, all our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
Ooh. The music's different. That's cool.
All this royalty? That always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
What do I say?
Wow. I feel so motivated.
Yet if he suddenly spoke with the eloquence of a philosopher king, 'twould bemuse more than it would spur.
You can take it at your own pace. We're all getting used to it gradually.
About the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince. Can I ask you one more thing? Why is it that you want to be king? It's not about honor or power, is it?
To protect my country and its people, I think is the only answer we can say.
I want to protect this country and its people.
'Tis the answer I hoped for. As your knight, I will ever serve you with all my soul and ability.
Well, I guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be.
Alright, well,
This place here.
this is where it wants us to go. I have no ability to save or do anything else, so...
Let's move!
Yeah, let's get back to Grand Trad. We'll stop Luis this time for sure. Let's go.
You see?
I doubt all in Grand Trad will give us a warm reception. Still, should we choose not to fight, then Luis's victims only pile higher.
Yeah.
Easy to say will help anyone, but doing it's a whole nother thing. All the more reason we gotta prove we're serious by putting our lives on the line. We'll lead by example. Besides, this won't be the first time we've crawled our way up from the bottom.
After having made so many sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch-enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
That Elden boy is nowhere to be found. I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
We're missing somebody here. There's usually the general on the right.
Speaking of which, I don't see the general.
Exactly.
The voice of the pro-Luis faction became too overwhelming. He was ultimately forced out of his position. Why is this happening? Even if the Sanctus Church's favor has collapsed, why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves, so they follow those who provide. We've certainly relied on that ourselves.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself. Now that we are out of ideas, what can we do?
Can you imagine Luis on the throne? Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping block. Do we hide? Run? Our ships are in port.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
Oh? To back us?
Well then, let us depart.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag. I killed the prince in the Elden village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears the boy candidate has merged with his corpse. It seems the prince is now resurrected.
Resurrected?
Yes, and what's more, the boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having traveled independently and then returning to his corporeal body.
I love Zorba just trying to explain this to Luis, and both of them are just like, what is this? Like, you know, what wild story is this? It's just nonsense. But it all makes sense.
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince has reawakened in his sanctum. How interesting. After these long years, my chase may finally come to an end. My nemesis awaits.
My chase may finally come to an end. My nemesis awakes? That's interesting phrasing.
Lord Luis, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you? Yeah, I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am worthy of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
Excellent. As planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured. That old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if Luis loses, a silver coin could turn into mountains of Reef.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Oh no, of course not. I'll just say.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
Oh ho! We've got a supporter.
A Sanctus bigwig gambling away his tides? This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news? The times we live in, I tell you.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince. The fireworks went off the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated the entire thing?
Oi, churchman! You saying Count Luis lied to us? You think he cast some big illusion?
An illusion, eh? What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like he knows in advance where these monsters will appear to cause havoc.
Easy to nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right. Let's keep things civil, eh? No sense becoming a monster yourself.
Oi! What's all this fuss about?
Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just as anxious as the rest of us. All that yelling and thrashing helps fight it off. Humans have been sighted near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the royal capital. Only one place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the flying palace. What are we about to see?
That's a good question.
Ah, the royal palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king? Stubborn and deathless? This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no war only because our very core is built upon a system of societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith breaker, hast thou no shame in preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you wrought your face in stone and took it to the heavens? You're nothing. Just an ordinary, broken old man.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your ideals, but I will never make that mistake.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic
is... Oh, come on.
So it's true. The country truly is putrid with sin. In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Oh.
Thou wert elder.
He just put on a pair of fake horns? That is good.
You were not always blind to this country's rot. When you visited our Sanctum, I saw and knew the passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
You cannot stop me any longer. Nor can anyone else. Save one lone possibility.
Snatching victory from the maw of catastrophe, the party descends again on the royal capital, Grand Trad. But they are greeted only by ominous skies. Their return hardly counts as a triumph, considering how they departed. Anticipating conflict, the Gauntlet Runner comes to a quiet stop.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Oi! That monster boy's come back!
Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
Probably not.
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still, we should walk with pride instead of trying to keep our heads down.
True enough.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns! Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored!
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why didn't His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed?
Cause he's an imposter! Just like Count Luis said! You'll not fool us again, beast!
Oi, calm down. At least listen. And you! Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a Paripus like you, and you spit on him. Scum! Only thing traitors deserve is a tight rope and a stiff beam. And you want us to support the prince?
Lady Juna, I can't believe this. I admired you. Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince?
What a merchant, how can you betray me? I was your best customer. I bought 99 of your water and I still haven't used it. Oh my. Feeling betrayed by the people closest to us.
I don't intend on dying with anyone. Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief! Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this pack of throne chasers. Shame. Shame!
Mustari girl! You ungrateful pagan! Count Luis brought down the Sanctus Church for you!
How dare you strike out at him?
They're all traitors, I say!
What is all this? The truth of the prince hardly matters to them. Every one of them's only concerned with their own emotions and nothing else.
We'll have your heads on pikes soon enough. Leave! Get out of our royal capital! If they're just monsters, we can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi, over here!
Oh?
Don't bother with them! No talking this one out. You need to run, now!
Where are we going? Oh.
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens are different beasts. Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Forden's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone, and oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh, that's all true then. I have my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt.
I love that he came to the conclusion, he thought, oh, that sounds believable, I'll say it. And then we're like, it's true, and he's going, what? I just made this up as some propaganda.
This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that. To my shame. Before I met you people, I didn't have much to me but anger and quips. I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic, but we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
Sure. Eurus is heading back to the Gauntlet Runner. Seems that the city has calmed down, at least for a tiny bit. They'd have a hard time wrecking our Gauntlet Runner, but we still shouldn't chance it.
All right.
We should make our way over to the Hushed Honeybee. Everyone else has already gone ahead. And now, we are in Grand Trad. The sky is definitely red, and things are about to change. Also, we've got some recently dead over there. Wait a second. Look at what's happened over here. The former person who ran the gallows has now been hung on his own gallows. Well, actually, it doesn't look like he was hung. It looks very much like he was stabbed. Oh. Yeah. There's a new hierarchy of power here. And is very quickly being implemented. Well, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.